Hello, second graders. Today we are working on Skills Unit 5, Lesson number 4. Taking a peek at our learning targets for today. What will we accomplish in our lesson? We will be searching to find adjectives in sentences. We will practice reading words with the OUS ending that says us. And we will read a story called All's Well That Ends Well to build fluency. Let's think back. We've talked about this the last two lessons. What is an adjective? An adjective is a describing word. Adjectives, more specifically, are words that describe a noun. So the adjectives are all blue on this page. Not just an apple, but a red apple. The sparkly notebook. The sad girl. And the round balloon. Let's think of adjectives for each of these nouns. Pause the video and see if you can come up with some adjectives to describe each of these three pictures on screen. All right, let's see what you came up with and what I came up with. I said, not just a flower, but the sparkly flower. I noticed that this book was pink, so I used the adjective pink to describe it. The pink book. And then last but not least, we can look at this pencil and notice that it is the yellow pencil. We're going to complete a little bit of an adjective hunt using a story that we already read. We're going to do this only on screen, so I will project some sentences and we will work on finding the adjectives together. Okay? So you're going to find as many adjectives as you can in what is projected up on screen. This sentence says, King Alfred was in charge of a large land that stretched from the dark forests of the north to the sea in the south. Before you can find the adjectives, you have to find the nouns, because remember, an adjective describes a noun. Let's find the nouns in this sentence. A noun is a person, a place, or a thing. So we pulled out the word land and the word forests. Now there are other nouns in this sentence. For example, King Alfred is a person. We also have sea at the end, but those don't have adjectives that pair with them. Okay, so we have land and forests. Those are in blue. Now let's find the adjectives that describe the nouns. I could say, what kind of land? And you would tell me, large land. Good. I could also say, what kind of forests? And you could tell me, dark forests. Absolutely. Nice job. So let's look at the last sentence on page 10. It says, but Sir Gus liked a long soak in a bathtub better than a fight. Before finding the adjectives, you have to find your nouns. Let's find the nouns in this sentence. Now there's more than one noun in this sentence. Sir Gus is a noun because he's a person. Bathtub is a thing. And a fight is a thing. But the only one that has an adjective to describe it is the word soak. So if I asked you, what kind of a soak? You could tell me, a long soak. The word long describes the noun soak. So long is an adjective. This sentence says, he had a spear and a sword. There's no adjectives in this sentence, but could we add adjectives? I could say, what kind of a spear? Or, what kind of a sword? We could use a word like sharp, pointed, long, diamond-handled, right? If I had a diamond-handled sword, that adds more detail and more description and excitement to my writing. We're going to talk about another group of adjectives that all end with the suffix OUS. So they all have an OUS ending. This is a tricky spelling. We know that OU sometimes sounds like ow. Sometimes it sounds like When OUS happens at the end of a word, it sounds like us. Okay, I want everyone to say us. Good, the suffix us, O-U-S. This first word is related to the word fame. So it describes a person who is well known by many other people, like a musician, an actor, or an athlete. This word says famous. Famous is an adjective because it describes a person. Can you think of another adjective that ends with the suffix ous? We're going to read some ous words and then name some nouns that might pair with that word. The first one says monstrous. Monstrous means related to monsters, frightful, or revolting. Would I say that my homework is monstrous? Probably not, even if you really don't like it. Could I say that a haunted house is monstrous? Yes, I could use the adjective monstrous to describe a haunted house. Disastrous. Disastrous means related to a disaster, and it means most unfortunate. So we could say it was a disastrous event when the volcano exploded. Nervous. Okay, it's related to your nerves, uneasy, excitable, or tense. So you could have a student, or you could have a nervous student. A nervous student adds a little bit more description. Chivalrous. I love to say this word. I want you to say it too. Chivalrous. Chivalrous is related to chivalry. And if somebody is chivalrous, they are considerate, they are loyal, and they are polite. A lot of times people say that you are chivalrous if you hold the door open for someone, or if somebody drops something and you pick it up for them, you could say, oh, that's mighty chivalrous of you. Enormous means very big. So I could say, there's an elephant, that's my noun, but if I said it was an enormous elephant, enormous would be my adjective because it describes my noun further. Generous. Generous is very giving or meaning a large amount. So I could say that that person was generous. It's describing them. It's an adjective to describe them. Boisterous. This one's fun to say too. Everybody say boisterous. Boisterous means noisy and rough. So if you're running through the hallways shouting, then you, my friends, are boisterous. Hideous. Hideous. Now this is a tricky word to read, but it's got 3 syllables. So we have hid, and then E. The letter E makes the E sound. It follows no rules whatsoever. And then us at the end. Hideous. If something is hideous, it's horrible. Jealous. If you're jealous, you're resentful and want to have someone else's possessions. If you're jealous of what somebody else has. Okay? So today we're also going to take a look at a story called All's Well That Ends Well. The last story you read was called The Thief. Today's story is called All's Well That Ends Well. And this phrase means that if everything is fine at the end of a situation, then everything that happened in between, even if it was challenging, is okay as well. Now, I won't necessarily say that I agree with all's well that ends well, but it is a saying that says even if things were difficult or challenging throughout, as long as it ends okay, then life will be fine and move on, right? So all's at the beginning of this story is a contraction. All is, all's. All is well that ends well. Some of the spellings that we're going to see, we have our OU spelling that says country, nervously, young, touched, and generous. And then we have our O consonant E that makes the sound for glove and come. Taking a peek at our vocab for today. First word is well. A well is a deep hole that's dug into the ground in order to reach underground water. Well also means that everything is fine, but well is also an exclamation or expression of emotion. So I could say, well. So well has 3 different meanings, and they're going to use all of them in this story, so I want you to pay close attention to that. The second vocabulary is ack. Ack is an exclamation used when someone's frustrated or surprised. So you're going to come to the word ack in our story today. And then the last one is shiver. If somebody shivers, then they're shaking due to fear or maybe the cold. Okay? It's going to be your job today to complete your Google form. And you are going to work on, you can switch it over. You're going to work on tricky spelling A, and then also you're going to take a look at monstrous, chivalrous, and boisterous on your form today. You're going to take a peek at the OUS endings and talk about what they mean, all right? So we practiced finding adjectives in our sentences. We practiced reading words with the us ending, and you guys are going to read All's Well That Ends Well on your own, okay? Nice work today. If you guys have questions, make sure you reach out and ask. See you tomorrow.